Hello, welcome to the Autonomous Developers Sync for, I get the date right, August 11th, uh, 2025, already nearing the end of summer. And kids starting school today is crazy how fast things are going. So, um, well, I see, I'm just gonna, I see that we have some commenters already. When listing, this is the developer sync focused on engineering, but maybe Jim will want to touch on that during the community update as much as we can. The big news, though, more from the engineering side, is that we have got domains launched. So from a phase 2 kind of launch perspective, all of the engineering work is completed. You can now get on, and we'll talk more about this, but we have you have the EVM live, you can stake. Yeah, so pretty excited. We're talking a little bit about what's next later in the call, but before I do that, Jim, you want to give some community updates?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, so just to answer that question, Mahmood Khan, when listing. So what I can suggest is that if you check out the domains launch party video, which let me just grab you the link for it. Here it is. That is where we delivered all the latest, in case you didn't catch it, and just in case you're not a native English speaker, you can use the YouTube feature to translate. Is very helpful. But yeah, all the information there. This is this call is specifically about developers. Sorry, about development and all the engineering that's going on. Yeah, okay. So launching straight into it. Testnet. Yeah, so we have a new testnet name. It is Kronos. Kronos embodies the concept of time, symbolizing the effect of time's relentless march, was the description provided with Kronos. The vote was close for a while, but a clear favorite emerged, and Kronos won with 28% of the votes. Honorable mentions go to Ethos, which garnered 20%, and Quark, which gathered 16%. There will be a forum update and Discord post as usual. But yeah, Kronos is the new testnet name. I see we have a question in the chat as well. When is the new testnet going to be up? I think we're going to cover that in a bit. Moving on. Okay, domains launched. Yeah, as you can see, so that puts us really everything, mainnet phase 2, mainnet beta, as we called it originally. Thus the slightly more aerodynamic Jim this week. I did say that the beard would go when we launched. I couldn't say goodbye to it fully, but we're kind of we're on the way. Yeah, so domains launch, what does that mean? So you are now able to stake. Staking is available. You can nominate a trusted operator. There are nomination guides using Polkadot.js on the official docs.autonomous.xyz. And I see that one of our audience members today actually posted a guide in Chinese if you're wanting to check that out. So domains are out, they're up, Auto EVM is up. So we haven't stopped there, of course. So we have our Block Scout Explorer is up. I'll put the link in the chat, in the video description below. We also have support from the graph. So if you need to index data on Auto EVM, that is available right now. We also have Wrapped AI3. So if you want to deploy an app that requires an ERC20 representation of AI3 on Auto EVM, that is now available as well. Emil's been on top of updates. It's available in develop.autonomous.xyz. You'll find the section in Auto EVM there with the updated contract. We also have the Taurus one still, of course. Safe is being deployed. That's coming along nicely. And the bridge, the hyperlane based bridge, is also being deployed. I know that there was a question about how progress is going there. It's going very well. You will provide updates on that soon. Moving on, Dawn of Autonomy is still underway. So we have the Spark and Seed Challenge, which is for farmers, old and new community members, people who are totally new to the ecosystem. Check out the Seed Challenge there. We also have the Node Atlas Challenge. Again, we've got very few entries, so a great opportunity to win on both of those, Spark and Seed and Node Atlas Challenge. Check out the forum for full details or the announcements channel in Discord and Telegram. And then finally, I just wanted to give everyone, a reminder that Auto EVM also means that now you can deploy on Auto EVM. So there's a call to action there. If you're a developer, if you're just curious, there's a great tutorial that Emil ran through on the launch party call that I've linked in the chat, just showing you how easy it is to deploy a contract and start calling the functions on it. And if you're someone who is beyond the tutorial, has a deeper understanding of EVM and Solidity development, and you've got a great idea, the grants program is open. So you can apply for a grant, and the Subspace Foundation is offering funding and mentorship there. Yeah, that's, I think, the roundup from the community there, Jeremy, for today.
All right. Thank you, Jim. We move on to protocol. We've been working on lots of things there and getting ready for domains launch. I don't know, Ved, you want to kind of catch us up on where we're at?
Yeah. Hey everyone. Yeah, so we did a domains launch, and the next thing for us is to start looking at new testnet. For that, we have to do some infrastructure changes. We are most likely will be focusing on that this week, and hopefully aim to get the testnet up and running as soon as possible. As for the permissionless operators, as you've noticed, there is only 2 operators, and the new operators cannot be registered yet at this time. We have a few more things that we want to get in there before we actually open up for everyone. And that's also one of the reasons why we are starting up testnet as well. So test out a few more things before we open it up. But yeah, more updates on that will be coming from either Jim or the community team on this.
Yeah, so just to kind of expand a little bit on the permissionless operators, we wanted to get launched. We had Stake Wars 1, which was great, very successful. We had Stake Wars 2, which was maybe not so great, and we had some infrastructure issues and such. We've since then had a couple of Game of Domains, which is kind of the new kind of Stake Wars style challenges. We want to, before opening up for fully permissionless operators being secured by fraud proofs, we want to go through another set of kind of high scale or large scale testing with the community to see, basically to try and break things. So hopefully things don't break. Before doing that, there are some things that we need to kind of get in order. We need the new testnet. I see there's a question about new testnet. Why? Jim, did we have a post on that? Did we ever do?
Yeah, it's actually part of the testnet naming contest, but I'm just let me dig out a link and I'll pop it in the chat to the relevant part.
But basically, the testnet had become more of a burden to testing than it was a help to testing. So in order to align mainnet and our testnet and have things looking the same for testing, deprecating Taurus just made the most sense. There's also, due to the success of things like our XDM contest, Taurus's infrastructure has become quite burdensome for us. So kind of starting that over and being able to quickly move through things like indexing and such is important to keep us nimble and moving forward quickly. One thing that is, from a protocol side that we do need to handle also before getting to permissionless operators is how is to more robustly handle offline operators, which is kind of one of the last pieces, I think, for the domains infrastructure that needs to be done. So we're formulating exactly how we're going to handle that. Work should begin on that very soon. So, all right, Carlos, you've been busy with AutoDrive, improving usability in a couple of different aspects. Do you want to kind of talk about that? You're can't hear you. No, it doesn't look like you're on mute.
No, can you hear me?
Gotcha. Yep.
Okay. Was the same problem as this morning. Yeah. So the last few weeks, we've been working on Autograph and the files gateway. For Autograph, we've implemented the first iteration of the S3 compatibility layer that basically enables to upload, download, and get information about files in Autodrive via the AWS S3 SDK. And yeah, this is like the first iteration of this layer. And basically, the current functionality is just that Autodrive is a single bucket. So basically, users could upload their files with a key, but there's not the possibility to create different buckets and have a multi-bucket system. Now it's already deployed on both chains in Taurus and in mainnet, and yeah, it's completely available now. Also, we've been working on the files gateway on one new feature that is the DAG indexing. That basically before this implementation, what we were doing was that every time that we fetch a file from the DSN, we reconstruct on the fly the structure of the file, reading the IPLD structure from the nodes. And even though this was a valid way to do so, it's fairly slower than the current approach that basically is creating a layer on top of this of the files gateway that basically catches and has saved this DAG structure. So basically, all the pieces that we read from the DSN are actual file data. In this way, we are improving the bandwidth of the files gateway, and also enables some other features like byte range downloads that it's really important for example, recoverable downloads.
Great. I see we're getting some positive feedback here on S3 compatibility in the comments. I do think it is huge. I think we've had quite a few partners ask for this, and so it's great to get kind of the first version out of that out there. Hopefully, collect some good feedback and to be able to iterate on what we've done and kind of move forward to the next steps with that. All right. Finally, one of we launched domains, and then we asked everybody to stake via Polkadot.js, which is not necessarily the most friendly interface. I'm used to it. I think Jim, Emil, everybody on this call is quite used to it, and really, I guess probably quite a few people in the community are. But generally speaking, I'm not going to be sending the general public to Polkadot.js to stake. That just doesn't feel like the right thing. So in the past, we had started kind of down a path in Astral to support staking. It ended up being a bit of a burden within Astral. So what we've done is we're creating what we're calling right now the Auto Portal. The Auto Portal will support things like staking, probably XDM. See, when listing comments I should turn off the comments while I'm talking here. So that threw me off. So I think like XDM staking happening through the Auto Portal. The initial version of staking is not quite ready for production. We'll be doing internal testing this week, but I did think I would demo it for everyone today. So let me stop that. So this version is actually going to be 100% RPC driven. So there is no indexer. So there's not very rich data, right? You can't, while we only have 2 operators, this works. As soon as we start to expand the operator set, this will not work. So in the coming weeks, we'll be kind of moving over into more indexed based data rather than just RPC. All right. Share that one, Jim. All right, so easy, just connect wallet. And you can see you land here and you kind of get a dashboard of what is happening with your wallet. This wallet has 45 AI3 staked with 2 active positions. You can see kind of balance information. One of the things here is that it's not just balance coming right off of the balance palette, but includes things like storage deposits, which I believe we have write-ups on more information on what the storage fund deposit is. But it is something that has caused confusion, I think, when people are staking and they see part of their balance just disappears. And what's happened is it's gone into the storage fund. This gives a bit more transparency into where your funds are. This one has been my test wallet, so it's got a lot of deposits and withdrawals. I thought I would just leave the withdrawals for the demo. You can see that when you're withdrawing, there's a challenge period you have to get through for each withdrawal. As those withdrawals become unlockable, they actually aggregate, and so you can unlock all of them at once. This kind of UI gives much more transparency to that than we've had in the past. So I will go ahead and give me a request for that. And hopefully it works. It worked all the times I tested it. So there we go. Okay. No more pending. So the funds are now unlocked, and clearly there's a UI bug because those did not refresh, but there we go. So now we've got just showing our current position with each of these operators. So to add stake is pretty simple. Just click add stake, we'll add 15. And you get a breakdown of what's happening here, including the amount of funds that are going to be going to the storage fund reserve. Click stake tokens. All right, staking was successful. If you want to see the transaction, you can go there, which you probably can't see, but it's just a link to Subscan showing that the transaction has occurred. And then if you want to withdraw, it's very similar. Withdraw 5. Nothing like waiting for blocks to pick up transactions on live TV. There we go. So now that withdrawal has happened, and you'll see a couple things. So here we've got the pending deposit, and when it will go into effect, which is each epoch is 100 domain blocks, so it should be within the next 10 minutes. And then you've got your pending withdrawal, which takes roughly, if we get 6-second blocks, it'll take 24 hours. But this kind of gives you detailed info into how long until your withdrawal will be unlockable. There's still some UI things I'm working through of how to best present. I noticed that there's a little bit of confusion on like storage fund, how that gets allocated versus pending staked, because the storage fund gets allocated immediately, so it can kind of move balances maybe in an unexpected way. So I'm trying to clean that stuff up. I would expect by end of week, we'll have internal testing and feedback loop have happened here. You can see it just updated with the deposit is now fully invested. As I was saying, we'll have internal testing this week, and hopefully by next week, get kind of a general release for people to test in the community and be able to move away from Polkadot.js driven staking. So. That is it. Jim, I see we've had some questions, some more personal than others that must have missed the beginning of the call. I think you had mentioned about the beard and the ability to see Jim's neck these days. So.
Yeah, it's weird actually. I keep catching a glimpse of that. Yeah, so I think that might be one of our ambassadors, Penguin. There, recognise the name. I can't read it, but I do recognise the name. Yeah, so I always said that I was going to take the beard off when we launched mainnet, and launching domains was the last piece. So it hasn't entirely gone, as you can see. I couldn't bring myself to go completely clean shaven, but asking the real questions on DevSync there. Thanks for that. Okay, another name that I recognize, or at least I recognize your picture. I think this is our Ching Lizzy question. Crossing the narrow sea concluded. When will the rewards be distributed? So it's all laid out in the forum posts. So the Crossing the Narrow Sea is one of the trials of innovation, as is the Watcher's Oath, which is where you've got your lovely avatar from, of course. And yeah, so we need to complete the whole of Game of Domains. You know, things like the staking interface unlock us being able to do that. So we'll get the new testnet up, and we will be running more of Game of Domains along with the rest of the trials of innovation, which we don't know what they are yet. So there's no point asking. We don't have a date when it will end because we literally haven't finished working out everything that needs to go into it. But as the forum posts say, you know, we will take a view at the end on the relative effort of all the trials of innovation. Then we'll calculate your points, and then we'll distribute. So no date set yet, Ching Lizzy. I think, are there any others, guys, that we haven't answered? Oh, actually, there's this one, another one from, I think this is Penguin. When does the new testnet Kronos start? So I don't know. I mean, I think it's next on the list, isn't it, Jeremy? Are we going to put out a tentative date, or are we going to say?
It will be the next few days that we launch the first pieces of it. You know, it takes a little bit of coordination, and there are a lot of steps to the kind of bare launching of a public network. So we're working through that checklist, kind of resurrecting the checklist from past networks that we've launched, working on some infrastructure. So that has been heavily focused on infrastructure piece. We've launched a couple of dev nets in the last few weeks as kind of preparatory work for this. So be on the lookout for it. It will be in the next 3 days to 1 week that you'll see consensus launch, and then soon after that you'll see EVM launch on the network.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, so it's not just like it'll be from the first piece of infra going up. Sorry, it will be when we're ready, but we'll be making plenty of big announcements about it. So we'll be inviting people to set up when that happens. I think that's it. Mahmood, I see you've reiterated your question when listening. I can't encourage watching the video that I've linked enough because it's actually quite nuanced. I suggest checking out the foreword from Todd if you just want to skip to the most relevant piece of the video.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail in that video, so I think it will answer any questions you have. All right, well, I think we are finishing just about right on time here. I can handle the outro here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Comment down below and let us know what you thought of today's topics. I do feel like we had more interactivity here than we have in previous DevSyncs, which is great. And as always, keep building on Autonomys. We'll see you in a couple weeks.